Mazer. Never heard of it. This is what I find very funny. The most system peripherals, all systems. Look at that thing. It's a Genesis with a Sega CD underneath it and a 32X on top of it. And what is this thing next to it? And what is that peripheral that came with it? I'm not even sure what that one was. Let's see. Let's see if it says in here. Oh, it says plus master converter. Oh, he's got the master converter on there too. Let's see. I don't know if it even says what that thing next to it is. Let's see here. Game on most systems, all systems, missed. Let's see how the system's rated this year. In loving memory, the NES, they show the top loader, and the Amiga CD 32, gone and forgotten. And also the laser active. Top rated systems. Let's see, NES, 2 7s and an 8. It's dropped a little bit. Sega, Genesis, well, you see the numbers here. Let's see, PlayStation, very high marks, huh? And the Saturn, not so high marks. I can't read into detail their reviews, but you pretty much can tell by the numbers what they think. Sega CD, not so high anymore, or if it ever was. That 32X dropped immediately, probably after the second wave of games came out and they realized it hasn't lived up to its potential. Neo Geo, 3DO, Jaguar, Virtual Boy, Game Boy, Game Gear. And that's it for this issue. On to 97. Trying to think which year had the award when Castlevania won something for Symphony of the Night. It could be this issue here. Let's see. The Good, the Bad, and the Silly. Game most bought by EGM staff. Tetris Attack. Yeah, this is where I think they changed it from like Games of the Year to just silly awards, I think. Worst game for kids, Virtual Fighter Kids. Biggest vaporware, the M2. Among all the hype, fanfare over the release of the Nintendo 64, one system was barely noticed to be absent, the M2. It was delayed, of course, EGM experts to see this mysterious wonder machine to hit sometime in the early part of 97. Boasting to be more powerful than Nintendo 64-bit machine, the M2 promises to catch the attention of gamers worldwide. That never happened. Game company with most promise, Capcom. Well, haven't they always been? Is that something new? The sound effect, Shadow of Empire. Most killing in a game, Die Hard Trilogy. This is coming in dark again, isn't it? Game system with one foot in the grave, the 3DO. Maybe if I open this blind behind me a little bit, maybe it'll help. Hold on one second here. Maybe that'll help a little bit. The hunks again, no. Deadest system of the year, the Jaguar. Most addictive game, Tetris Attack. I've played that a few times. It wasn't bad. Kind of forgot about it. Strangest enemy, Walking Butts. It's something about a silly Doom clone called PO'd. I don't want to read all that. Worst sequel, Rise 2. Never heard of it. So a lot of you out there know a lot of these games that I don't know. So, best introduction, Gun Griffin. Full frontal nudity, The Dirty Dwarves. For the Sega Saturn, I guess. Okay. Game that the Pope wouldn't buy. Reloaded. Best ending, Tekken 2. Yeah, that was a pretty cool ending. I can't believe I sold that game back in the day. I still haven't rebought it, and I need to. I'm wanting to play it again. Best print ad, Sega Saturn. Yeah, hot babe with all kinds of pictures around her. Yay. Another ad, who cares? Worst voice acting, Resident Evil. I love the bad acting in that game. I know it is bad voice acting, but I love it. I love cheesy stuff like that. Worst packaging, the Psychopath KO. Who cares? Anti-drug message, Black Dawn. I like the other awards that did better. Is that all the awards? Let's see, no. Cool fighting move. King's Octopus Combo. Worst game based on a movie, Congo. Game that should have stayed on the PC, Creature Shock. Biggest cross-platform title, Mortal Kombat. Best sports game for people who don't like sports, Decathlete. Most educational game, Baku Baku Animal. Best television ad, Crash Bandicoot. Oh, and I guess you send in your vote for the games of the year. I guess they did it in a different issue this time. And I never did send it in, but I had some stuff marked. I hadn't even played half the games, but I marked some anyway. So I guess they do silly awards now for these instead of the other ones. Starting this issue, they started doing the top 10 games for the systems. Right off the bat, Nintendo 64 comes out, and it gets high marks. All except for one guy who thinks it's a hype trap. But when the 64 came out, they really thought it was the PlayStation killer. You know, when Super Mario 64 came out, they really thought that game just blew anything away on the PlayStation. And the size and the mass of it, and like it blew Crash Bandicoot out of the water. But it would be only a year or two later that they realized that the PlayStation was still better. Let's see. Top 10 games for the system. You know, Super Mario, Star Wars, SOTE, which is what? I forget already. I probably know it too. Mario Kart R, Turok, Pilot Wings, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I'm going backwards though. KI Gold, GoldenEye, Wave Race, Blast Corps. For the PlayStation, number 1 was Tekken 2, Die Hard Trilogy, SVA 2, Resident Evil, Wipeout XL, NFL Game Day, Legacy of Kain, Twisted Metal, Tomb Raider, and Warhawk. And the PlayStation scored that year. Not so high, and that was kind of shocking. I don't understand that. Saturn, not so great. Let's see. Really running up. This is going to be like a 5-part video. SFA2 was their number 1 game for the Saturn. Oh, I guess that's Street Fighter Alpha 2. Yeah. Baku Baku Animal. Knights. Decathlete. Panzer Dragoon 2. Virtua Fighter 2. Iron Storm. Sega Rally. Tomb Raider. Dragon Force. I'm going to stop right here and say I don't own a Saturn. It is on my wish list, but not high on my wish list. I still want to get that Atari 5200 first, and I wouldn't mind getting a Vectrix first too. Maybe even a Neo Geo CD. Some of the games I've been seeing on that really look cool. Saturn's on that list too, I guess. But I don't really have money for anything, do I? Virtual Boy. Yeah, right. The Game Gear. Mid-average. One guy gave it an 8.5. Everybody else gave it lower. Game Boy Pocket. Then Nomad. How can you rate a Nomad so low when it's nothing but a Genesis? Super Nintendo still gets high scores. Number 1 game, Tetris Attack, Chrono Trigger, Street Fighter 2, Final Fantasy 3, Mario Kart, Yoshi's Island, Contra 3, Super Metroid, Bomberman 2, Castlevania 4. Contra 3, I seen a YouTube of the ending of that recently. Man, that looks awesome. I'm not good enough to get that far. Man, look at the low reviews for the Genesis. This is just not right. I don't know. I'm ready to shut this magazine. Let's see their top 10 games. Revenge of Shinobi, Flashback, Gunstar Heroes, Sonic, NHL 94, Strider, Ghouls and Ghosts, Herzog's Y, and John Madden 95, Vector Man 2. I don't know what the hype is with the Herzog's Y. Tried it once. I didn't understand it. I think it was on an emulator. I just wanted to try it out. I did not understand it whatsoever.